The wise man regards strength, intellect, efficiency, and timely action as the fruits of inquiry. Indeed, kingdom, prosperity, enjoyment, as well as final liberation, are all the fruits of inquiry. So basically, when you take inquiry, when you've got self-control and inquiry on the go, your life is harmonious. It's not about withdrawing from life. It's about reclaiming your attention, not letting your attention be hijacked, and taking control of that attention. It's about looking at, when you're pursuing inquiry, you're looking at all the things which allow your attention to be hijacked, all your psychological tendencies. It's a reinforcement. It follows on from self-control. The spirit of inquiry protects one from the calamities that befall the unthinking fool. When the mind has been rendered dull by the absence of inquiry, even the cool rays of the moon turn into deadly weapons, and the childish imagination throws up a goblin in every dark spot. Hence, the non-inquiring fool is really a storehouse of sorrow. 'Tis the absence of inquiry that gives rise to actions that are harmful to oneself and to others, and to numerous psychosomatic illnesses. Therefore, one should avoid the company of such unthinking people. I don't know if it's necessary to be putting people down that aren't into this. It's not really necessary. I suppose it's just pointing out the benefits, not just spiritual benefits, but lots of practical benefits about pursuing this course. They in whom the spirit of inquiry is ever awake illumine the world, enlighten all who come into contact with them, dispel the ghosts created by an ignorant mind, and realize the falsity of sense pleasures and their objects. O Rama, in the light of inquiry, there is realization of the eternal and unchanging reality. This is the supreme. When the attention becomes its own object, when the attention is withdrawn from sensory objects and also from mental and emotional objects, and when it's directed to itself, this is inquiry, and when it's directed to itself, you've moved beyond the psychological. You're actually in the realm of pure being, what we might call, what is referred to here as the realization of the eternal and unchanging reality. Vasistha doesn't use the word Brahman here, but I think that this is actually Brahman, what we're talking about. He is free from delusion, attachment. He is not inactive, nor does he get drowned in action. That's a good point. People often think that all this kind of teaching is about sitting in bliss. You're involved, you're active. He lives and functions in this world, and at the end of a natural lifespan, he reaches the blissful state of total freedom. The eye of spiritual inquiry does not lose its sight even in the midst of all activities. He who does not have this eye is indeed to be pitied. It is better to be born as a frog in the mud, a worm in dung, a snake in a hole, but not be one without this eye. I mean, it could be argued you're not really alive, you're not really human, unless you've awoken to your nature, your true nature. What is inquiry? To inquire thus, who am I? How has this evil of samsara, repetitive history, come into being? Who am I? This is the basis of the teaching of the great 20th century sage Ramana Maharishi. This is what he asked his followers to do. Ask, who is this I? What do we mean by the word I? And this isn't an answer we want to conceptualize. It's we direct our attention to what we mean by I. You direct your attention beyond any notions, any concepts, to a state of pure being. We've all got this state of being. We're all operating from it, but we've forgotten it. We're not in touch with it. We haven't got a sense of it. Knowledge of truth arises from such inquiry. From such knowledge there follows tranquillity in oneself, and then there arises the supreme peace that passeth understanding, and the ending of all sorrow. Venkatesananda likes to chuck in these little Christian phrases now and again. The peace that passeth understanding. Perhaps it is there in the Christian tradition. Perhaps it is there in certain. This wisdom is possibly there in the Christian understanding as well. It's certainly a peace that passeth understanding, in the sense that we're not conceptualizing it. Understanding is about concepts, is about notions, it's about thinking. But this peace goes beyond all that. It goes beyond the personality. And so perhaps in that case it's justifiable to describe it as divine.